Okay, so let's work on posting some assignments in our class. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is click classwork right here, and you will end up in the area where you can post your assignments. We'll talk about how those should look or how you want them to look, if you want them to show up in your stream, if you don't want them to show up in your stream. We'll talk about the different types of assignments you can post here, and I'll show you some options. We will talk about Google Drive as well, which, like I've said before, is kind of like your brain here. It's where everything will be stored. And we will talk also about Pearson Realize, which I believe is called Savas Realize now, and how to integrate that into your class. I'll show you how to do that as well. And we will go from there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually create an assignment. Let's go ahead and hit this right here. Hit assignment. We'll title it. And the first thing that I like to do is to actually add the work here. Now, you can create your work. You could create a doc right here. Let's say you don't have it created. You want to do that right now. Slide, sheets, drawings, forms. Now, I use every single one of these. Just depends on what I'm doing. And we can go into those as well. But typically, you'll have something already created. Now, I want to show you guys something else here because I think a number of you may end up using it. I have downloaded a few different things from TPT that I'd like to show you how to upload. So let's go ahead and pull up one of those. We've got actually, let's do the one I already have open. As you can see here, I am not using Adobe. I use something called PDF Escape for my desktop. So this is just a quick little freebie that I found for a reading assignment on theme. Normally in these you have to scroll pretty far down to the bottom to find the instructions and links for digital use, but let me show you what that looks like because this is what they mean when they say that. So we're already logged into our Google account, and we are going to go ahead and follow these instructions right here. And what they want you to do is open this assignment up in Google Slides and make a copy. Making a copy is the important piece because these are password protected, and they are essentially they remain the property of the person who created the assignment. So when you make a copy, you're getting a copy of your own into your class. So and only you will be able to edit that. Of course, we'll talk about how to make sure that students can see it as well. So let's go ahead and get the link for Google Slides right here. I'm going to allow it. Then we're going to go ahead and make a copy here. Now we have our copy. I like to rename these. So we'll just do theme and maybe theme version 1. And that is saving to our drive. Now, this is Google Slides. This is what Google Slides looks like. I think most of you already know that, but this is what it looks like here. It kind of looks like PowerPoint. But you are saving directly to the drive. You can actually tell right up here. So this little cloud is your document status. If you click on it, it means that everything that you do in here is automatically saving to the copy version in your drive. So you don't have to hit save or anything like that. And when it is saved, then you are able to work on the document offline should you need to. So this is what we're going to try to add into our class here. So we've got this, which means that over here in my drive, that assignment is actually in here as well. So you can see it right here, theme 1. Okay, so back into the classroom. Let's go ahead and add it. Hit the add here, the add link here, go to Google Drive. They're going to show us some recent assignments here, or recent documents. I've got a lot of things in mind. Let's hit the theme version 1 right here, insert it. And now you can see it's right at the bottom of this assignment. You want to make sure the students can view the file, but most importantly, okay, so let's say you're posting something like a video. I would recommend hitting students can view file. You don't want students to be able to edit it. You don't want them to change anything. You'd want that. Now for this one though, you're going to want more than that. You don't want them to just edit this file either, because if they edit this file, this first one that you have, it's your copy, then all the changes that they make to the file will show up on the original master copy, the one that is right here. And you don't want that to happen. You want them to have their own copy. So always hit make a copy for each student when you intend for them to have their own copies. So make a copy for each student. Now, over on this side, there are a number of different things. This is the class we have, and it's the test class. Make sure that's set. You're doing it for all students. At some point, you'll have the option of changing it should you need to do different, differentiated assignments for students. I don't think this should be a 100-point assignment, but there are some ways that we can make sure that it doesn't stay like that. You can change it manually, or you can use a rubric. Now, let's talk about rubrics here. Go ahead and hit the create a rubric. I'll show you how to reuse them later as well. If you use scoring, you can change it from descending or to ascending, but I leave it at descending. Criterion title. This will be rubric 1. We'll do it like that. Let's change it to 5 points. We just talked about. You could do a level title, you can do a description, or you can leave those here. Now, I do recommend doing the level titles and the descriptions, and I'll show you a bit more about how I do these. Now, if 5 points is your total here, then that's going to be you might use depending on your class, you might use great effort and description. You did everything you needed to do, and that would be your first one. Then you may say, okay, well, 3 points. Say good effort. You did most of what you needed to do. And you may even make a different note there as well, but I like to do individual grading notes too. So, and you could say 1 point. And again, you could do this for all levels. It's really up to you. And let's say little effort. You did not complete most of this assignment. You could also add Criterion. I apologize. You can add different things down here if you needed to. I don't feel that we need to add any more for our section here, so I'm going to get rid of that. Excuse me. And you hit this, hit delete Criterion, and then we're just going to leave that. So go ahead and hit save. There you have your first rubric. Now, if this is the rubric that you want to use, make sure that it's here. If you want to check plagiarism, which I do like doing, you can do that as well. Hit that. Select a due date. Now, typically what I do, and of course it's going to be up to you how you want to do it, is I don't make the assignments due necessarily that day. However, because of the way that we'll be doing things in the coming school year here, we may want to have the assignments actually completed that day, and it will help us determine attendance and things like that, especially for students who may miss a Google Meet or Zoom session. So let's make it due for the same day. So we'll do it today, and by 11:59 p.m. we'll go ahead and put that in there. And that's going to show up. Now, you can hit assign now, or you can schedule it, but because this is an assignment we want to do done today, we're going to just go ahead and assign it right now. The next one we do will look a little bit different. Okay, so this is assigning. Okay, now it's giving us a little hint here because we haven't done it yet that we're going to add some topics. This is where it's actually helpful to be able to differentiate between your subjects in your class if you are not doing separate classes for your students. Now, I know some of you with older students may end up doing that so that each subject is its own class, but for the younger students like mine, I'm going to have them all in one place. So let's go ahead and leave that where it is. And then what we will do is we're going to go ahead and create a topic. This topic is going to be ELA. And we want to move this under ELA. So I'm actually just going to drag it, toss it into ELA. Well, let's go ahead and create another topic as well. Let's do a math topic. And we'll go ahead and add that here. So then we'll put up something to go into that section. And then let's go ahead and create a reading topic, unless you decide to combine your reading and your ELA. Now, it's up to you how you want these to look. If you want them in alphabetical order or something along those lines, that's really going to be up to you here. But we do have our first assignment under ELA. Now, so when students log in, the first thing they're going to see, of course, is this page here. As you can see, they've got our announcement down here that we posted previously, and they have the assignment. I'm not a fan, and I think I may have misspoken in a previous video. I don't actually like seeing the assignments here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So you can see the upcoming assignment here on the left-hand side. It's test 1, due at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Now, if you go to your settings and then go down to the classwork on the stream, we have show attachments and details. You could also do condensed notifications. Let me show you what that looks like. And if you notice, that means your assignment is here, but it's condensed. It no longer takes up most of the screen. Students still have to, click on it. It's going to look a little different on our end than it does on theirs. Theirs will look like this, whereas for ours, we can actually see what students have done. But again, I prefer not to have any schoolwork on the front page. Again, this is up to you. I go to hide notifications. And then all you see are announcements here. You still see the upcoming assignments, though. So students are still able to click on this and actually see what assignments they have coming up, which, again, for now, we only have the one assignment posted, so they're just going to see that. But that's helpful. So I like to just have this page dedicated, the stream, entirely to announcements and student comments. So students can ask questions directly underneath an announcement, and you can respond to it there. You can either respond to it so everyone can see it, or you can respond to it privately, and we'll get into that as well. So what I want is students to be able to go to the classwork section and see everything here rather than seeing it over here, so that they can actually get a better view of what they have to do entirely in a day and not miss any announcements. What I don't want is students missing announcements because they've got a barrage of assignments in front of them. So that's why I change it like that. Okay, so we have one in here now. Now let's go ahead and take a look at scheduling assignment. So let's go ahead and do a different type of assignment. We will do test 2. I put way better instructions than that on real work, but and let's go ahead and add. We will do let's say you want them to watch a video first. So let's go ahead and add something like let's do it from my I've got some videos on my Google Drive that are not on my YouTube page, because they were things that I used just for class. So let's take a look at, go to my drive. Let's go to Screencastify. That happens to be what I use for this. And there are some that I used directly from the Pearson website. Here's one right here. We're going to insert that. So then I might say, and this is typically what I do here, I would say 1, watch the Pearson video below. 2, complete the worksheet. And then sometimes I'll specify that it's Google Slides. Okay. And then, of course, adding whatever you want. I usually add something about what the assignment's about and the contact with questions, etc. So I like to do these in order. Now, I just want students to view this. I do not want them to be able to edit this video. I just want them to view it. So I'm going to leave that like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our actual assignment. And I'm going to show you that a different type of assignment. So I showed you how to add something like a Google Slides assignment from like a TPT worksheet that you've downloaded. But what if you've created something yourself? And again, we'll touch on that in a different video, but I'll show you what that looks like. So I have some assignments that I've done myself. How about this? It is not actually related, of course, to the math here, but just as an example, this little symbol right there, you can see it's purple, which means that it's actually a Google Forms assignment. So let's change that Google Forms, and I will show you what it looks like. This is a little quiz that I put together based on some reading that they had done. So if you click on it, this is from last year. Again, based on a reading they did, and it was just a little short quiz that went along with it. But it's a different type of assignment that you may end up using. So this one, again, I created this here in Google Docs or Forms as a quiz, and I'll go further into how to do those as well in a different video. But this is just an example of the type of assignment you may want to add here. Grade importing. Classroom can import grades for assignments. So what that means is, and I always make it so that it does do that. You can also lock it on, put lock mode on Chromebooks, but that will change some of how the grading imports, that type of thing. So with this type of assignment, it takes them to that separate page. So you do not have to change you don't have to change the setting here. You can see that the same drop-down menu is not here, because this one they complete here. And then when it's done, all they have to do is hit save or send. It will come to me, and then you can see responses on the response page. So when those are graded, they come directly to the gradebook, and then it works from there. But because we are doing this as an assignment here, let's go ahead and add a rubric. Since we already have one created, you can actually reuse the rubric that you have. Unless you wanted it to be something with a higher point value and you want to create a new one, then absolutely. But let's say you want that to be there. Make sure that your points are changed up here, since you don't want that to pop up as more than the amount. And then let's also create a deadline for tomorrow. We'll make this tomorrow's assignment, and we will put it under, let's put it under math, just to see what that looks like. And you don't want it to show unless you want your students to work ahead. Typically, I do not want them to, so I will schedule it. I had a lot of students actually or a handful of students who got up really early. So I want to make sure that that assignment goes up early. So let's do, I'd usually have up by 6 a.m. But you may want to do it earlier, you may want to do it later. It's really up to you what time you want to do it. Let's go ahead and schedule it. Okay, so now we actually have a scheduled assignment. You can see it grayed out right here under math because we assigned it under math, and it's scheduled for the next day. So students aren't going to be able to see this yet until it actually pops up on their end, and then they would see it over here as well. So right now we're only seeing the one assignment due because that's the only thing that we have popped up. But if you have multiple things for that same day, which you will, they will all show up on that side. So there is a scheduled assignment. Should you decide to change it, you can always go back into it as well, edit it, go back in and say, oh, actually, I want it scheduled for right now. You can change that, or you can change the settings here, or you could go back in to that assignment, go hit edit, and you can just exit out right here, save it, and it will cancel your original due date. Okay, so as you can see with this one, when students click on it, they're going to click on their assignment here. It's going to take them into Google Slides. They're going to complete their work in Google Slides, which often means typing into a text box like this, and they're going to hit either share, or it might say save. Some students are seeing different things up at the top there, but right, click that, done, and then send it. Okay. And then you will see that pop up in your gradebook on your end. It should show you that that is a completed assignment. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about the gradebook in a different video, because it can get a little bit complex. So let's close out of that. That's what they see for that type of assignment. Now for this one, let's say they go into the math one. It's up now because it's tomorrow, and it says, okay, first thing you want to do is watch that Pearson video. Well, like I've shown you with the the announcements, they click on the Pearson video, and they'll get it right here in Drive. They'll watch it. Click out of it, doesn't change the file at all, and then they click on the next assignment and complete their work here. And then at the bottom of this one, they will hit submit. It will come directly to me. Okay. So, and as you can see, they're not in the stream. And I'll show you again why I prefer to not have those in the stream. Because, well, first let's go back to this assignment, and let's say we actually want to change it so it's not scheduled for tomorrow. We want to assign it right now. We'll just make it due tomorrow. Now when it's in there, going to show active. Back on the stream, you still don't see them, but let me show you what you can do here. So let's say you change the notification so that it shows attachments and details. Then you're going to end up with this. You can no longer see the announcement that I posted because it's been pushed all the way down to the bottom because of these assignments right in the middle. Again, this is a personal preference. You may like to have the assignments right there because then students can complete them. I just don't like students to miss the announcements or any discussions that we're having. So I change it. So that is why I would do something like this instead. Hide the notifications, hit save. You can't see them here, but you can see them over here. So if you hit view all, you can see that there are assignments here, right? Go back into the class. Or when students click on classwork, and this is really my preference, is that they learn to just go to the classwork section and look in each section every day for their assignments. And then there you go. So that is the basic overview on how to post assignments and where to find those. Now, back into Drive, this is essentially what Drive looks like. I have a lot of different things in my Drive, probably hundreds of files in here, some of which are organized into different areas and some are not. Plus, when Google sees that you've accessed something recently, they'll give you quick access at the top, so it can get a little bit overwhelming, and we will likely have to do a different video on navigating through Drive. But let's say you want to add something to it that isn't added the way that I showed you from a PDF. You actually can just upload a file as well. So if you wanted to have quick access to a photo or some other type of document or something, you can do that here. By hitting file upload, you can upload an entire folder. That could be useful for some TPT purchase material as well. You can add a blank document, a template. So there are a lot of options here. If let's say you're starting your own Google slide presentation for your students, you can just start it right here. And again, like I showed you before, everything that you do is going to be saved directly to the Drive. Here's the one that I was working on for this training, for instance. This entire presentation is going to be saved automatically to the Drive. You can see it right here, see document status, all changes saved. I haven't shared it or anything yet, but it is all being saved directly to the Drive. So, and again, this is where you're going to pull all of your information for the class. It's also really useful because you're seeing essentially what students are seeing too, because they're using the Drive, especially with their Chromebooks, where they're not saving anything to the computer. So it's a really useful tool, and it's good to be able to see what students are seeing and be able to help them navigate as well. Plus, their computers don't have that internal storage. And it's a good thing too. You don't want to slow anything down. So, and for you, that's the same thing. We all download a lot of material, so it is useful to have the Drive so that you do not have to worry about having a lot of different files on your desktop or your computer if you don't want them. So, okay, that is the basic overview on how to post assignments, and we will go further into that in a bit later. But if you have any questions, just let me know.